August TBR, so this is really late because it's already August, but anyways, let's get into it. So I'm going to be participating in 2, maybe 3 readathons in August, the Mythtake Readathon and the Mythathon. So basically it's going to be a very mythology themed month, and it hasn't been announced yet, but the Let's Be Mermaids Readathon always takes place during August. Serena is doing a smaller edition of the readathon this year. She hasn't really announced anything yet, so I can't really say what I'm going to read for that because nothing's been announced. But when everything gets announced and if challenges are announced or whatever happens, I'm going to be participating in that because I love that readathon. It's one of my favorite readathons. I hosted a few years ago. So many mermaid books saved that I've been saving to read for this readathon, so I am so excited when it comes. Let's start with the Mythtake Readathon, which has already started. It started on the 5th of August and it goes until the 18th. I'm really excited to participate in a 2-week readathon. I've never participated in a 2-week readathon before, and I'm so intrigued to see how many books I can read in 2 weeks. Like, it's gonna be a challenge and I'm really excited. So the first challenge for the Mythtake Readathon is to read a book that is 400 pages. For this, I'm going to be reading City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. I have heard nothing but amazing things about this book and it sounds amazing. I forget what this is about. I know it's about like a djinn, and I believe it features like Middle Eastern / Arabian style fantasy. This is an adult fantasy too. It's not YA. It's completely out of my comfort zone, but I've heard so many amazing things about it, and the audiobook apparently is really good, so I have the audiobook on hold and I cannot wait to start it. The next challenge for the Mythtake Readathon is to read a book that was recommended by the host. The host made recommendation videos and they recommended quite a few books, 2 of which I want to read, so I'm going to go through both of them. One of them was Wicked Fox, and another one I really want to read is Ash by Melinda Lowe. Next challenge is to read a book with an animal on the cover, and for this I'm going to go with Wicked Fox because there's a tail and she's a 9-tailed fox, so it counts for animal on the cover. And I also realized that another book I really want to read for this book is Arusha and End of Time, and there's animals on the cover too. So a lot of books could go for this challenge. The next challenge is to read a book with green or yellow on the cover. Again, Arusha has both green and yellow on the cover, so this counts for both. City of Brass has yellow on the cover. The next challenge is to read a book written by a woman. Literally all of the books on my TBR are written by women. I literally only read books written by women. Oh my god. Next challenge is to read a book by POC author. All of these books are also written by POC authors, so counts for that. Next challenge is to read a book with Asian influence. A lot of these books have Asian influence. Arusha is about Hindu mythology. Wicked Fox is about Korean mythology. City of Brass, I believe, has like Middle Eastern Arabian mythology, I believe. Ash is written by an Asian woman, queer woman too, so that counts. The next challenge is to read a mythology retelling, and a lot of these are mythology retellings too. So these challenges are so easy. I highly recommend you do this readathon because it's 2 weeks and the challenges are so easy, and you can also use 1 book to do 3 challenges, so it's such an easy readathon. You like triple up on so many of these books. And the last challenge is to read the group book. I'm so happy that they extended this to group books that they've read in the past. I did not want to read the August group book. It's a Mulan retelling with a non-binary main character, but it's not own voices, and I was reading the reviews and a lot of people said that the book was really problematic. I do not want to support that. It's a Mulan retelling with a non-binary main character written by a white cis woman, so I don't want to support that. So I was really happy when they said that they are extending this challenge to past group books, and City of Brass was actually one of past group books. So that's why I'm reading this book, and I'm really excited to read it, and I'm really happy that I don't have to read the Mulan retelling, and I can still complete all of the challenges this way. That's my super chill Mythtake Readathon TBR that I should get started on because it's already like, what, day 3 of the readathon and I haven't read anything. But anyways, I have 2 weeks. I'm fun. And the next readathon, Mythathon, created by Jessie over at Bow and Books. I love Jessie so much. Channel is amazing. I found out about them through the Blackathon when they first created the Blackathon readathon, and now they created the Mythtake Readathon. They're amazing. I respect them so much. They're so eloquent and thoughtful and well spoken when it comes to books, and I stand them so hard. So of course I had to participate participated in the Mythathon because I love Jessie so much. And you know what? I'm an overachiever with this because instead of choosing one team, I'm on all of the teams and I'm doing all of the challenges. Yes, this was stressful also to come up with TBR for this. I'm not gonna lie, it was stressful, but I did it. I found books for all of the challenges and my TBR is now 40 books. Yes! Success! I am so proud of myself, honestly, because all the challenges were so good and I love Jessie so much, so I really wanted to be on all of the teams and I did it! So let's get started! Let's start off with Team Fire, hosted by Cindy. I love Cindy so much too. Her prompts can all be done by reading A Curse So Dark and Lonely, so I'll read that! The next team is Team Water. For this one, I couldn't find books that did for all of the books, but it's fine. It's fine. I like the books that I chose anyways. So the first challenge is The God of Music. Read a book with a musician main character where music deeply influences the story. So for this, I'm actually reading a book that Jessie recommended. Graphic novel of the Wicked and the Divine. I've heard a lot of great things about this graphic novel. For some reason, I just have never picked it up. It sounds really awesome. It's about like gods and they're musicians, and there's a lot of diversity in the story, so I'm really excited to pick this one up. The next challenge is Apollo is attracted to multiple genders. Read a book with a pansexual/bisexual male character. And I could actually use The Wicked and Divine for this again, because apparently there's a lot of bisexual, pansexual male characters in this. But I actually really want to read Technically You Started It by, I forget who the author is. It's a book told only in text messages, and it's about like this girl. I believe the main character is Ace, and the love interest is bisexual. So it definitely counts for this challenge, and I heard it's a really quick read and great for a readathon, so I definitely want to read it. I do have the audiobook, and it's only 5 hours, so great book to read. And if I don't get to it for whatever reason, The Wicked and Divine could also count for this challenge, so I'm good. This challenge is Apollo is a twin. Read a book with twin protagonists or sibling bond. Wow, this challenge was so hard to find. I literally looked up books with powerful sibling dynamics because I could not find anything for this challenge. But I finally found Long Way Down by Jason Reynolds. I hope I'm right, and there's powerful dynamics, sibling dynamics, or it's a twin. Also, this audiobook is only 2 hours long, and it's narrated by Jason Reynolds. I've been wanting to read Jason Reynolds forever. I've heard nothing but amazing things about all of his books, and so I'm really excited to be reading this book, and the fact that it's narrated by the author, like, oh my god, it's so good. Oh my god, I'm gonna be so disappointed if, like, the main character isn't a twin. I really want to go into this blind, so please let me know if you read this book, and it is indeed a twin. And it's also won a lot of rewards, which is another challenge. Challenge for Apollo is credited as the god of healing and diseases. Read a book where the main character battles an illness. So this is kind of cheating, but Somewhere Only We Know by Maureen Gu. I got to meet Maureen Gu a couple months ago, and I went to the book signing for this. I had such an amazing time. I love Maureen Gu, and this book just sounds so amazing. It's Roman holiday, but with a K-pop star. Yes! Taking place in Asia. Oh my god, it sounds amazing. And the main character actually has an anxiety disorder and she takes medication for that. So this book is not really about her battling an illness, but she does have anxiety and takes medication for it. The author did talk about how the anxiety representation was there and that she does deal with it at certain points in the book. So it kind of counts, but this also is mainly a romance book and has nothing really to do with the illness itself. But it's fine, I'm counting. I've been wanting to read this book ever since I first met Maureen Gu and heard about this book. So I cannot wait to finally read this book. I am dying to read it. Now we're going into Team Earth. For this, I'm doubling up so much with the Mythtake Readathon as well. So the first challenge is Aphrodite is known for having multiple types of lovers. Read a book with an LGBT MC. For this, I'm going with Ash because this is a lesbian retelling of Cinderella, and I'm also going to be reading for Mythtake. The next challenge is Aphrodite owned a girdle that contained her enchantments. Read a book with a powerful main character who is also very feminine. I'm also going with, for this I'm going with We Hunt the Flame by Hazia Faisal. I'm going to double up on so many challenges with this one, and technically I could like do so many more challenges with this book itself. This book fits so many challenges. This is such a great book to read for the Mythathon, and Jessie is also reading this book for the Mythathon, so I'm really excited to read this. It's gotten so many great reviews and it just sounds so good. The next challenge is worldwide artists continue to create stunning sculptures in the name Aphrodite. Read an award-winning book. For this I could go for a lot of books. Long Way Down has like 1 million awards, and I looked it up, and Ash has actually won a bunch of awards for like LGBT awards and like queer lit book awards, like so many awards. Ash has won a lot, and it's also been out for a long time, so it makes sense it won so many awards. So there's a lot of books I can use for this challenge. Aphrodite is the goddess of procreation. Read an adult book with a child main character, or read a middle grade. For this, there's no way I was gonna read an adult book. I don't read adult books that much, and reading an adult book with a child main character sounds like such a hard prompt to find books for. So I decided to go with middle grade. And once again, doubling up with the Mythtake Readathon and reading Arusha and The End of Time. I love Roshani Chokshi so much. I met her a couple years ago. She is amazing. I adore her. So of course I want to read all of her books, and I'm so excited to read this one. Next challenge for Aphrodite is to read the group book, which is To Kill a Kingdom. Oh, I forgot to mention the group book for TJ. I don't want to read the group book for TJ. I mean, it sounds interesting, but I'm not really that interested in. So yeah, the group book for Brittany is To Kill a Kingdom, which is actually a Siren book. So the Let's Be Readathon happens this month. I definitely will be reading To Kill a Kingdom for that. But because nothing has been announced yet, I don't want to say that I'm for sure going to be reading it yet, because I don't know yet. So I might read this book, I might not. We'll see. It has been on my TBR for a while, and it's a mermaid book, and I'm trash for everything mermaid, so we'll see. Last but not least, Team Air for this. First challenge is Oya is the Orisha of Wind and Storms. Read a book that takes place under hostile weather conditions. Oh my god, you know, I found out that like We Hunt the Flame takes place under hostile weather conditions. So intense! And then also, Oya is the goddess of death and renewal. Read a book where the character must reinvent themselves. We Hunt the Flame! And then also, Oya is of the Yoruba tribe where women do not hunt, but she became a fierce warrior anyway. Read a book about an unconventional woman. Hello, We Hunt the Flame! And then last, Oya has 9 children and her lucky number is 9. Read a book with a number in the title. Okay, I couldn't double up on this one because this was hard actually. But I'm going to be reading 1,000 Beginnings and Endings. This is an Asian anthology. I'm going to read this book forever. It has so many of my favorite authors in it. I don't know how I have not read this yet, but it's a bunch of short stories, so it should be a quick read. I also forgot to mention one of the challenges for Team Fire that I did not set a book for is Hades also owns a Chair of Forgetfulness. Read a book you've been shelving for far too long. I haven't set a book for this because a lot of these books I've been shelving for far too long, so I'm just gonna leave this as a freebie challenge. Whatever books at the end of the month I want to count towards it, I'll count towards it. That's my TBR. This was a long-winded video. My TBR for August is so ambitious and she luck, I guess. I'm really excited for these readathons that I'm participating this month. Like, it's gonna be a very mythology-filled month, and then if Let's Be Mermaids readathon happens, well, technically mermaids are part of mythology too, so it's gonna be a very myth-filled month. It's gonna be great. Comment down below what you're reading in August and what if you're participating in any of these readathons. My social media links are all down below. My Twitter, my Bookstore, my Goodreads. Arrivederci!